Good morning, Nigeria. Good morning, world. You're welcome to today's Morning Spring, the Thursday edition of this program, where we talk about everything that truly matters in Nigeria. It is for the public good. This program is meant to enhance our decision-making progress, holding those who have one or two things to do accountable, holding them accountable, especially for the public good. That's why we are here, speaking truth to power, and of course, for the betterment of Nigerians and those living here. We'll start with the newspaper headline segment, and then we get to talk about other things. So much to really unpack today. Femi Ojo is my name, and I welcome you. Of course, Temitope is there. Good morning, Temitope.
Good morning, Femi. Good to have you again. All right, dear viewer, thank you for joining us today. This is the penultimate installment of Morning Spring on Western Spring Television. And it is also the morning after the very disturbing news of the killings, the PDP infractions and all of those, issues. We're here again to talk about the difficult things and to let you know what is happening on the faces of the dailies right here. My name is Temitope Ajijola Oluwola.
All right. And by the way, you look nice, the lady in white.
Thank you.
All right. And by the way, now man, they do, man. And I have my reasons. Yesterday was International Day for the Men.
Yeah.
Men's International Day.
Men's Day.
And it's quite interesting. Almost every year it's quite interesting to note that out of 10 men, every 10 men that you see, 8 of them don't even know that it was yesterday. 5 of them don't know that there is anything or any
going
day,
on,
to celebrate the men. And it's quite, not too cool, right? Because there's this narrative that men are not celebrated enough. And there is that default setting that men, in a kind of way, has come to quote-unquote reality and make their peace with that. Fine. So whenever they feel they should celebrate themselves, it will be from their own volition to say, I don't try. Let me go and hang out with boys, and not because there is a day set out to celebrate them, because especially in this part of the world, you are meant to work, pay billings, be responsible. That's what they call it. Be responsible for your immediate family. Of course, that's sacrosanct. That's statutory. All right. For your wife or wives, your children, those living with you, responsible for your parents at some point, your siblings, and all of those things. So, but it's a day, set out to celebrate the man. Yesterday, the thing was celebrating the men and the boys as well. Boys' lives matters, not just only girls. And it's not, before you get started, not a man versus woman, girl versus boy thing. Yesterday was about the men, and so you should stand that way. So I saw a couple of maybe 1 or 2 persons, female, who actually put up something for the men celebrating that. And interestingly, you are one of the 2 I saw. So thank you for that. Actually, that counts for something. So for all the men, every man looking at me today, even when billions won't kill you, stay afloat, stay alive, celebrate yourself at intervals. Actually, they will say, if you're making a particular sum of money, find a particular percentage, to celebrate yourself as well, so that it won't be, that there is that place of, the landladies.
Okay.
Outnumbering the landlords. Because many of the landlords, they are there outside of the building, buried. They are dead. And so it's the landladies that survives the men. That's not an issue. But what I'm saying is this: why we are all alive, especially men, celebrate yourself. Take the pains. Take the sacrifice when you have to, but then once in a while, celebrate yourself. Your life truly matters.
I want to verify. What do you mean by landladies and you see the landlords in the ground buried?
Yeah.
Do you mean that there are more widowers than there are widows?
No, you are not getting it. There are more widows than widowers.
Yeah. That there are more widows than widowers.
Don't you know?
No.
You don't know?
That's not a fact.
Okay. You will only say it's not a fact when you can disprove it. Actually, that's the way it works. And by the way, it's not about that it's money. It's not about widow and widower.
No, I wanted to get that clear. And then talking about men. Let's talk about
this. Is about man, and let a man finish. The talk here is the day was set out to celebrate the man.
Yes.
Only the man. Conversation about the man.
That's what we want to talk about. And I want to talk about...
No anything coming in. Yeah.
My colleague just shut me up on the show.
Right.
I give it to him.
Right.
International Men's Day. It was yesterday.
Yeah.
He's extending it to today.
Yes. Because
for women, we will have a week-long celebration. Don't worry.
That's where the issue is. When we're having conversation about the women, we stay with the women. When it's about the man,
I'm not trying to overshadow
let's stay with the man. No, you can't. It doesn't work that way. By the way, take a quick break. When we return, we head straight to what the papers are for us. Quite interesting, and many of it quite disturbing as well. But then, it is their reality. Stay with us. All right, we kickstart the headline segment with the Nation newspaper. Nation attacks. Tinubu puts troops on highest ever red alert. Attacks. Tinubu puts troops on highest ever red alert. With rider, US targeted killings claim as emboldened terrorist, says federal government. US targeted killings claim as emboldened terrorist, says a federal government. What is that supposed to mean, actually? Because I hope it's not what I'm thinking, because this is sounding or looking more like the usual rhetoric of trading blames. No, with the wave of attacks possibly that we're having now, what it means that the federal government is saying it's what the US said about targeting a particular people that is causing these now. When shall we be responsible in this nation? That's the question. Would there be a time where we get to and we say, this is our fault, we'll take you from here, and you know, the noise from outside, let it stay that way, let's show result, and then we can say, now, this is the narrative, that whatever the US is saying is what is causing what we are having right now. Really? Interesting.
You know, yesterday I was thinking about the same thing, that it seems that it's at this point where we have the international community speaking up about the killings in Nigeria, and then they're getting more emboldened. I think they're trying to call their bluff to say that, you know, you should come. You know, even if that were true, that is not your responsibility to talk about. Let's, you know, like CSOs, you know, and other stakeholders talk about it. The government should be proactive. You see, because we're now laid back on our responsibilities, and it starts from individual level. I've found in recent times that individuals now leave their responsibility, or now, you know, try to shift their responsibility, you know, on someone else, and then begin to, you know, trade blames, just like you've said, you know,
and leave the substance of the matter.
Exactly. And that's a very terrible attitude individually. And now, talking about leadership, that is not an attribute of a good leader. Right. And those are the things that we need to speak to, those issues, so that they stop.
Shatima, there is a picture there just below that. Shatima signing a register during his visit to Birnin Kebbi yesterday. With him are Governors Idris and families of abducted schoolgirls, all right, being brought, you know, to Birnin Kebbi. I just hope that, excuse me, that the vice president will find his way to Maga, because that thing happened in Maga, Danko Wasagu local government. Because this is a pattern that we are used to. What has happened? The school abduction has happened in Maga. The president told his vice to go to Birnin Kebbi and see for himself, take reports, what is happening, right? And then he landed in Birnin Kebbi and he's having meeting in Birnin Kebbi. Birnin Kebbi is the capital. Now we are learning, you know, the state governors, families of abducted schoolgirls are now meeting, you know, or possibly they met the vice president in Birnin Kebbi. That means they were
transported to
from Maga to Birnin Kebbi.
He could not go there.
Exactly.
Now, what does that tell you? That's to tell you that whatever level of insecurity is there, we're shielding our vice president from being in that situation.
Yeah.
So it means that the life of our vice president is more essential than the lives of the citizens he swore to protect.
For people who think like that, would they be wrong? They won't be wrong. And that is a familiar script. Because a few months ago, the massacre in Yelwata in Benue State, you know, the president, after so much uproar, said he was going to shelve his schedule, you know, to attend, to be there. And then he went there. He stayed in Makodi. The president didn't go to Yelwata. Later, we learned the road was bad, actually. And then that's quite lame.
Now, talk about the things that he was even actually saying.
You know,
it almost turned to a campaign.
It's quite insensitive. If actually, let's conclude. Maybe it will now go to Maga today, because that is what it does to the people of that community. Imagine seeing your vice president. It gives you some assurance.
There's nothing that can
and then
be
you
said.
can relate. I know, but then you can relate that seeing them shows that, you know, they care about us. There are so many things that doesn't need to be said. It just needs to be seen that it is being done. Now the VP has had this meeting in Birnin Kebbi. His boss, the president, went the Yelwata situation, stayed in Makodi to have all of those meetings. So does that mean those villages are too terrible for Mr. President to have gone there? For Mr. VP, let's wait for today. I don't know, maybe he has returned or maybe he will go there today.
And that's
but the fact that those families have been brought to Birnin Kebbi, you can infer that that's the end of the Solomon Grundy.
I even want to say that there are several people, yes, more responsible people, who will be there on the day of the event, no matter what time. But let's even assume that in recent times, that doesn't happen. You see, for the fact that you were there, you got to Birnin Kebbi, you should be at Maga. That was the core point. In fact, you should just pass through the capital and not even reside
Everybody
there or
should find
make
you
a
there.
stopover.
Or possibly get to Birnin Kebbi, and then the governor will lead him to Maga. That's the way it should work.
That's what it was. That's what was supposed to happen. That was supposed to be the situation of things, to show the people empathy, first-hand empathy.
Right. And you see
and
for yourself.
You feel what you're feeling, and that you recognize. You're recognizing with with them.
Whatever meeting he will have had yesterday will be things he will be told, not things he's seen. And so why are you there? You could have just stayed in Abuja and let the governor come and give you the report.
Exactly.
So why you dispatched? You are dispatched to Kebbi State and you stayed in Birnin Kebbi. Birnin Kebbi didn't suffer this particular attack.
That you don't need to make verbally.
Really?
We get it.
Just get there.
You're saying that you are too big to be there.
All right. It's quite saddening. But then, you know, we might say now, the abducted school pupils actually, the names have been given, actually, you know, SS3A, B, SS2A, SS2B, GSS3A, GSS2. That is the number, you know, that's been given. 24 of them by their names, and it's quite disheartening. I don't want to, nobody wants to be in the situation that you pick up a copy of The Nation today and you are seeing the name of your child being on that wanted, not really wanted, missing person list. But then it must be said, and inside Shatima, we will bring back schoolgirls. Girls will be rescued in days, says Senator. Today is the second day, isn't it? Third day, actually. So we are counting. President shift trips to South Africa, Angola. Oh, that's quite magnanimous. Thank you, Mr. President, for, you know, shifting your trip. Because we learned, it was given before that Shetima has gone to
and he was
Kebbi,
headed.
And he was headed, thank you, to South Africa. And maybe after the Kwara incident, actually, interesting. Kwara State Governor seek troops deployment in Iruku, and Council balls fault U.S. lawmaker. Here we go, because we learned there's a particular lawmaker who hinted on that story online, and the chairman of that local government has to, you know, refute and respond to that, talking about the genocide thing and a lot of those issues. All right, and below that, PDP Secretariat yesterday, police seal off PDP headquarters with barbed wire. You need to see the the post by the FCT Police Command, actually, it was, there are things you say that you just will. How about you keeping quiet, not even talking? Because the moment you speak, you give those who give you a chance of thinking that maybe you are fine. It tends to now doubt you and say, oh, you are not good, you are not that fine, you know what I mean? Now, the police FCT command gave a public post statement and said that narrative for people saying the police is being used is not like that, and the police is not against itself, and that they were only doing what they are supposed to do, and they were not shielding governors from entering that place. That what they did was to trim the size of the detail, and those bouncers that were following the governors were the ones they were telling not to enter the place. That it was not about the governors being shielded from entering the particular place. And people have to tell them that it has come to a situation like when the police talk, you will now be doubting your sanity, to think, oh, am I seeing well? Because we know what we saw, and the police is saying something else.
And then I want to ask you, Femi, maybe you will help me understand, because I really don't understand. The truth is that I don't understand why the police is sitting off my own property. Yeah, my own property,
Your property is being used to constitute nuisance.
I did not kill there on the property. No crime was committed on the property. So why the ceiling?
Public nuisance, actually. Your property, quote unquote, your property is being used for public nuisance. So they only said they Jesus is Lord. What happened? It's a terrible case, but then
public nuisance was constituted on my property by the same set of people who are selling it off.
So that
how is that my fault?
So that your property will not be used to kill somebody, let's seal it off. Go to court if you are not. So barbed wire has been used to barricade the PDP office. Will you blame the police for all of this? Sure. The politicians themselves are funny people. Set of Baba's ways. Those are the guys that we have. Yeah, I think that'll be all from these. Now, before that, ISWAP leader jailed 20 years over terror attacks. That'll be all from the Nation newspaper.
All right, let's go now to Daily Trust newspaper this morning. And right here, the banner headline says, bandits abduct Sati in Kwara church attack. And the rider, Kebbi releases names of kidnapped schoolgirls. Right there. Right below that, how mosquito coil fire killed family of 4 in Kano. And below, to the bottom strip of the paper, Kano governor presents 1.36 trillion naira budget for 2026. Super Falcons shine as Nadozie extends dominance at CAF Awards. Super Falcons shine as Nadozie extends dominance at CAF Awards.
Talking about the awards, I'm not too happy. You know why? And it's quite horrible. And it's not because I'm in Nigeria, right? Of course, I'm in Nigeria. Okay. Proud one. The CAF Award was held last night, actually. And the best, female best on the continent was given to a Moroccan player, right? While you have a Nigerian contestant as well, who won the player of the tournament in the AFCON, who led the side as the captain of the team who won the AFCON, who is doing well at her club side. That's Rashida Rajibari, and was given to somebody who never won the AFCON title. Whose team Nigeria defeated in the same final 3-2, who didn't have many most valuable player, badge in that particular competition, and was adjudged the best on the continent. Now, for the men's best player, you can say Akraf Hakimi, a PSG player, won so many things. Okay, fair enough. But Osimhen won so many things as well. But, that's debatable. Now, this is where we are on the African continent. And many persons say, the lady who won so many things, who was the captain, who was adjudged the best player of the AFCON, you glossed over and you pick a Moroccan player who won nothing, like nothing, extremely nothing. But it is what it is. But the good chair is the fact that Chiamaka Nadozie remains the best goalkeeper on the continent. I said, maybe we'll make a peace with that.
That's not how to make
cool.
peace.
Right.
I mean, there's no closure.
But then I give it to the female again.
Points.
Even when everybody have been failing, the female team has always been turning up. So good one to them.
All right, now let's go back to the papers right there. I lost 30 shops in Gombe Market, Infano, says trader. A person, 30 shops. That's terrible. PDP crisis, police barricade secretariat. A swap leader bags 20 years jail term. And those headlines right there. And besides that, the last one, besides the CAF Awards headline, genocide, Rubada leads delegation to U.S. congressman. And that's on page 33 of Daily Trust. And that's another headline talking about leading of delegation to a U.S. congressman, while it's right there on the Nation newspaper where the statement from the same federal government was, put out this delegation saying that U.S. targeted killings claim has emboldened terrorists. I mean, it is absurd that you are taking a step and you're not even fully committed to that step. Because when you're taking a step of, peace, at least the delegation that is being sent to the congressman is to deliberate, is to talk about, how to move forward. And that's, peace. And you're giving out statements, the same, body giving out a statement again that is contrary to, the assignments that was given earlier. It just shows lack of commitment and seriousness, at best.
Right. And from the Daily Trust newspaper, let's look at the point very quickly. Kwara Kebbi abductions. Federal government blames the U.S. as kidnap outrage spreads. Federal government blames U.S. as kidnap outrage spreads. And Tinubu cancels foreign troops storm Kwara after bandits kill 2, abduct 35 worshippers. Shetima, Kebbi, Kwara governors visit families. Terrorism, police tighten Southeast security as Kanu knows fate today. And Wike slams Turaki as police seal PDP secretariat. Interesting headlines here, albeit very sad. We take a quick break. When we return, we speak to all of these issues, especially the confusion at the PDP secretariat and what it means, and this wave of terror and abduction attacks on the Nigerian people. Stay with us.
Can you imagine the feeling when you get your news as they break with facts and clarity? Our news are reported as it is.
In Africa, and all those who masterminded the way it happened, we have